Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I am David Sponheim. I am also doing a brand new show tonight. Technology Thursday is up and running. Make sure everybody's in the chat room and watching us. Please make sure you have a good video signal. It's very important that we do this right, because if we do this wrong, we won't really be able to look back on this time period and say, hey, we did our best. We had a lot of difficulties earlier in the show, and most of it was due to conflicts and technological conflicts at best. We are seeing basically a nation that has been playing catch up with technology for some time. Recently, thank you, Don. Wow. We just got a $20 donation. Thanks, Don. Thank you very much. That's the first donation I've ever had this month. That was the first donation in April. Thank you so much, man. Well, they are on YouTube. I am uploading right now to YouTube. Don't worry, I'm on it. Last night's show is being uploaded right now to YouTube as we speak. I'll tell you exactly how far into it we are. We've already uploaded it and it's processing. All right? So you will be able to see the show from last night. I'm on it, but it's like a little bit later because we haven't been able to do the uploads to YouTube because the authentication thing isn't working. And we did not do anything to change that. It's all on YouTube's side. So whatever they're trying to do to keep me from doing what I need to do, which is a daily upload, we've got to work around. I'll just upload it later tonight. I went to the buffet today. I had a fantastic meal. I'm not in any way that way. I'm actually a person who is extremely super sane. And when I eat, I do pack it away at the buffet. I'll admit, I do eat my share of high quality wild salmon, great roast beef, tender roast beef, really good chipotle cod that they made. It tasted like lobster. It was so good. Well, I only eat the best food at the buffets. I don't go and just pile on mac and cheese. You only go to the best buffets at the best price, and you get the best food. So I put at least 2,000 calories in my body, but it was all high quality vegetables and proteins. And of course, I had some really good Snoqualmie ice cream. They make a special ice cream out here. We don't have any TP for you. ATP doesn't sell TP, but I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I pretty much eat the right foods. I try to avoid saturated fat. Yeah, salmon's really good. Still, to this day, even after Fukushima, salmon is still rocking. We're all enjoying salmon. Yeah. But you have to really pick and choose where you get the salmon in order to get good quality now. Well, we've got $20 on the way. Don's challenging anybody to make another donation tonight. You can go to our page at America's Third Party to donate if you're a U.S. citizen, like Don is. He's challenging anybody to match his donation of $20. So we do need some capital to present ideas, especially if we were to run TV commercials. But we are obviously, poor compared to Hillary Clinton, who has over $2 billion. And Donald Trump, they say he's amassing $1 billion in donations, something like that. Donald Trump did not put any more than about $250,000 into his campaign. But he loaned his campaign $24 million. So he's allowed to borrow big time. And a credit junkie like Donald Trump is all about borrowing and paying back and continuing to amass wealth by simply borrowing. And that's pretty much the size of our country, where we're at. We borrowed our way into a very tough situation. We can barely meet the interest on our debt. Well, if Lee Stoll doesn't know me, then she spent a good half an hour videotaping me in front of my house. She may be suffering from chronic brain syndrome. Yeah. It's funny she says she doesn't know me. She videotaped 30 minutes of my issues and never played a single one of them on TV. I don't want to make a smear video on Trump simply because he smears himself whenever he talks. If the people of America are not aware that he sticks his foot in his mouth incessantly and they're going to vote for him somehow thinking that a guy who's rich and borrowed all of his money is going to help them, then I feel sorry for America. It could be the problem isn't that we have Obama as a president or that we had George W. Bush as a president. The real problem is the voters are completely uninspired, unenlightened, and unaware. I think the problem is many people are just not clued in as to how corrupt our country is. Or if they are, they keep voting for the wrong guy. I don't believe Trump would even get close to me in an election in 2020. Number one, he's going to be too old. He'll probably have a cane, and I'll be out there working out, doing jumping jacks. Yeah, well, you stop eating GMO foods, Oswald. Your best bet is to shop for corn tortillas that say non-GMO on the package, as well as they make bread now that's non-GMO. You can really, well, you can look for the insignia that says non-GMO on it. Okay, women in a leading lawsuit over Flint, Michigan water crisis is found shot to death in her home, folks. This is a very important story that Scissor Fight brought in. This is from theroot.com, and this is really, really a mind-blowing situation. The woman in leading lawsuit over the Flint, Michigan water situation shot dead in her home. Sasha Ivana Bell, one of the first people to file a lawsuit in connection with the water crisis, was found dead Tuesday at the city's Ridgecrest Village townhouses. She was at the center of the fight for better water. Her child was poisoned by lead in the water, was one of the first in an ever-growing list of people to file a lawsuit in connection with the contamination. And an investigatory task force recently denounced the government as fundamentally accountable for the crisis. That means the governor of Michigan is accountable for the crisis. Having not done anything to get fresh water to the people, they're still buying bottled water there just to drink. I did do a tour of the White House, Holly. In 1967, we had to go to our congressman to get approval, and they went ahead and okayed it, and I went into the White House. But I never got a chance to see the president. Yeah. I know. Well, the problem with Michigan Water really is the Nestle's Corporation borrowed all that water from Lake Huron, and Lake Huron was depleted with the Nestle's Corporation sucking that water into bottles that they had to go to the river, and the river happened to be polluted by the Nestle's Corporation. So Flint, Michigan has no water whatsoever except water they can filter. So our FEMA organization should have been there by now with desalination systems that would also take out all kinds of dangerous chemicals. It looks like Sasha Bell may have been snuffed out. Yeah. She was found dead April 19th at the Ridgecrest Village townhouses, along with Sakori Renee Reed. An uninjured 1-year-old child was also discovered inside the home. They have not confirmed whether it was Bell's child. Sasha was a lovely young woman who cared deeply for her family and especially for her young child, her attorney said. Her tragic and senseless death has created a void in the lives of so many people that loved her. Hopefully that her child will be lifted up by the love and the support from everyone who cared deeply for Sasha. Believe me, when I'm president, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be wondering why they got fired. And I'll explain to them because they are incompetent. And we know that they are incompetent. Our government is too lackluster and weak and impotent to fire anybody. All the bureaucrats in our country and all those government whores and prostitutes that many of you people think represent you, they just sit there at their desk trying to figure out how they're going to get enough money to get reelected. That's their basic move. I have no mob connections at all anywhere. I'm not a mobster. Gene technology. Really? Okay. Act 2000. Go to Section 50A. My cabinet will consist of many people who have been working as watchdogs to prevent government excess and abuse and fraud. And we will be putting together a team of experts forensic auditors to analyze the budget and find the real gaps and the mistakes going on under this current administration. Obama is just completely a hands-off joke of a president. He hasn't done anything. We're working on more delegates. We've got over 150 and counting electors. If you want to become an elector, go to our website and hit the volunteer button. And all you need is your name and an email address to get started, but we'll email you with interest. If you want to be an elector, though, I urge you to put your address there. But we're taking anything. Names and email addresses would be fine. You don't have to donate to be an elector. Unlike the Democratic Republican Party, which is very closed to that idea. So this is a Gene Technology Act of 2000. Not sure what it is, but I'm going to 50A. Section 50A. I'm sorry, there's no records for Section 50A. Oh, here it is. It's the Tariff Concession Revocation Order. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I really find this site too relevant right now, Scissor Fight. Yeah. I don't have any need for Viagra or Cialis or Levitra or anything like that. Give me a vitamin E pill and I'm good to go. My mother told me that, David, you know that the reason why I got pregnant with you is because your father took vitamin E. He was told to eat a lot of lecithin. She told me that. She said, yeah, my mother had 2 miscarriages before she had me. So my father was really trying desperately to get a son, or anybody at that point. No friends, I have no contact with Tim Geithner. Tim Geithner is the president of the Pilgrim Society, which is a conflict of interest. Technically, a Secretary of the Treasury cannot work for a foreign government. I've often wondered how they pulled that off. But the Secretary of Treasury is kind of a unique department head position. It's not really an official government position, believe it or not. Most of the positions we have in America are not official United States of America government positions. There was no Department of Interior in our Constitution. Department of Education. Those are all part of a corporate structure which was developed in 1871. The Act of 1871 initiated that. Well, if you want to, with your medical billing degree from University of Phoenix, great Attorney General, you can send your resume to America's Third Party at gmail.com, Sephiroth. Well, we would put Obama, Hillary, and Bush in an investigation mode, and then we'd begin to put together Jackson. We'd put together enough information to process them as war crimes against humanity. It wouldn't be difficult to pull up enough heinous cases of torture and rendition in the case of Obama and Bush. And with Hillary, I think she should be prosecuted for the lack of emails. At the very least, it's a Class C felony for violating public disclosure laws. But there's a lot of things happening that are just not being prosecuted in America. I was talking to an attorney today in an ongoing effort to find out if I have a case when I was swatted. And this is not a haircut. I mean, this is my hair. I found out from an attorney that it's going to be very difficult for me to prosecute the police if I were to try to get a civil charge brought up against them. Nobody wants to take the case. You see, the police came in and without even contacting me on a contact number that I had, I was forced to be swatted. They didn't even bother calling my phone number to see if I was the perpetrator that was calling in with a crank call. De Blasio has been in trouble for some time. Exactly what is the problem, Led Zeppelin? I know he doesn't have the backing of the NYPD. They don't like de Blasio. You have a guy from former Marine talks about why he... is that Kevin O'Keefe? I don't know. Got a former Marine talking about his time, why we really are in Syria, and straight up tells it how it is. Let's take a look at this. This looks good. When a U.S. Marine speaks the truth.
War. Because the bankers control the politicians.
And they read the script as given to them by the banksters, and they make huge amounts of money off of this. What this gentleman is saying about the United States not wanting war, not wanting to get involved, is like Iraq 2.0. It's a repeat of the same rubbish that was said, oh, we don't want war, war is a last resort. That's absolutely untrue. It's a lie. Those that are in government are nothing more than prostitutes who are carrying out the orders of those who are in charge of them, and those that are in charge want another war. And part of that is what we discussed earlier, the Greater Israel Project, to destabilize any Arab regime which might have any kind of autonomy and self-determination. Any regime in the Arab world that is not an absolute puppet cannot be tolerated. And who are the nations that we target? Those that are not puppets. We don't target those like the Saudi regime, which is the biggest human rights violator in that.
You know, this is where I differ from Ken O'Keefe on this one. I mean, I don't even think going after the 28 pages and the Saudi Arabians is really the issue. I tend to believe it's a complete distraction. He does too, but he believes it for another reason. He believes that Saudi Arabia is guilty of a lot of things. He thinks they've got a terrible system that's run by monarchy. You know, having an opinion about a country is not really relevant to trading with that country. You may think that they're run by a monarchy. We are run by a monarchy. Our nation is run out of the World Bank. When our country buys or sells treasury bonds, when our country buys or sells treasury bonds, I'm going to have to get some coffee in a second. I didn't get any coffee. I went right into the show and it was just a mess from the very beginning. It's unreal. No, I'm not part of any of those organizations you're saying. But when we sell treasury bonds, we have to contact the World Bank and they actually print them up. We are so owned by the World Bank, it's not even funny. Okay, we've always known Bernie Sanders to be kind of a weak presidential candidate. Many of you keep saying, Bernie, Bernie, Bernie. We're living in Bernie land where I live. Everybody's going to vote for Bernie, even though he's not even going to win. But now he's making some statements that are really kind of adding credence to Trump. Let's take a look. He may have just handed the race to Trump. I wish he'd handed it to me. He doesn't even talk about me. This guy is such a joke. I can't even believe the Democrats put him out there. What a weak candidate.
Folks here in the audience, we're going to take some audience questions. First comes from David Jakubowicz. He's a 20-year-old UPenn student who supports you. David.
Hey, David. So first, I'd want to say as a student, I'm very excited to be voting for the first time tomorrow for you. So thank you. My question is, many of your supporters are staunchly opposed to Hillary Clinton and are considering writing you in, voting for a third-party candidate, or not voting at all if you don't win the nomination. I believe you will win the nomination and the presidency, but if you don't, will you encourage your supporters to vote for Secretary Clinton?
Dave, thanks for the question. And let me answer it in this way. First, I think it is, we're not a movement where I can snap my fingers and say to you or to anybody else what you should do, because you won't listen to me. You shouldn't. You'll make these decisions yourself. I think if we end up losing, and I hope we do not, and if Secretary Clinton wins, it is incumbent upon her to tell millions of people who right now do not believe in establishment politics or establishment economics, who have serious misgivings about a candidate who has received millions of dollars from Wall Street and other special interests. She has got to go out to you and to millions of other people and say, yeah, I think the United States should join the rest of the industrialized world and take on the private insurance companies and the greed of the drug companies and pass a Medicare for all. I think that, says Secretary Clinton, that for the young people in this country, you should not have to leave college $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 in debt because...
I'm so tired of him complaining. All I get is his complaints about everything and no solutions whatsoever. He is such a classic liar. A socialist liar running his mouth off, complaining all the time with no real solutions. Just like Trump, using my ideas without even understanding how to implement them. Okay, another example of government screwing over our vets. Thanks, Captain Howdy.
48 News at 6. I'm Elizabeth Gentle.
And I'm Mark Thornhill, only on WFF 48.
Why are all these videos 2 minutes and 23 seconds? It's not my fault. Go to HTTP. If you have bad video, go to www.americasthirdparty.com and you'll get better video. Okay? Yeah, it's like constantly boring and whining and talking about if students don't get a good education, they can't properly become a doctor or a lawyer or become even a joiner of my synagogue. And if they don't have a good education, it's not just a right, it's more than a right. It's a privilege. Well, that's lesser than a right, but okay. Yeah, we've been throttled. So if you want to get our real link without any video problems, just go directly to our website. Go right to the horse's mouth. These are just stunt glasses. I don't wear glasses. I have 20/20 vision. Dude, calling me mentally ill without addressing all the issues I talk about shows me what an absolute imbecile you are. If you really think that you can just run your mouth off calling me mentally ill every night, it's amazing. You like the credibility factor? Okay, well, it just so happens that I can't even see with these glasses because they are literally reading glasses. And I just wear them when I want to talk like Bernie. I'm talking about the rich people! The people that have been taking all of your money! We're going to stop them! I just don't know how I'm going to do it! Yeah, I'm more worried about the Los Angeles Lakers. They fell flat on their face this year. Byron was taken off the team. I mean, no, you guys have no way of refuting my statements, so you just come in calling me names. I know what you're up to. I have read a lot of books as a child, but I have 20/20 vision now. I've been keeping my eyes kind of for long-term viewing purposes. I don't purposely game. I try to avoid gaming because it's much safer. You know, gaming is going to mess your eyes up if you do that a lot. No, I don't own a hunting lodge in Wyoming. What is this? What is with these questions? Yeah, many of you people think that I'm somebody else, but maybe there's a lot of David Sponheims out there. I'm beginning to think there's 2 or 3 others that have very interesting careers as coke dealers and highfalutin executives for Enron. I'm not sure. I mean, from the questions you've been asking me, I'm beginning to think there's more than one David Sponheim out there. Never have, no. Honestly, I've never touched myself during a performance. Would you like me to touch myself for the first time? Let me touch one of my important erogenous zones. Thank you. Check my hands. No fur. I have no fur on my hands. You know, I don't feel like dressing up like a woman, so it's good chance that I'm not going to be doing a Hillary Clinton impersonation. You know, hating on Jewish people, Meow TV, is just wrong. Yeah. And I thought you were Jewish, Meow TV. Why are you hating on Jewish people? I don't get that. Heavy. Chat room, let's see. We got Baltimore terrorism, Freddie Gray, 13-year-old. Let's take a look at this story. It's propagating as we speak. Fox Baltimore bomb scare, 5 fast facts you need to know. The blurred video of a suspect in a panda suit shot live on TV after a bomb threat at Fox 45 in Baltimore. What you're about to see may be distressing. A man in a panda suit threatening to have a bomb.
Right now, where a Baltimore TV station has been evacuated. This is after a bomb threat. Look at the police presence. This is all happening at the Fox 45 offices. Yeah, now, according to the station security guard, a man there threatened to blow up the building.
Okay, now they blurred him out when they shot him. Yeah, they shot him 3 times, I understand. And he's doing okay. Non-lethal shots, so he's going to make it. They say it's serious, but it looks like he'll be able to talk about what he was doing and why he wanted to dress up and claim he had bombs when all he had were candy bars connected with wires. He was jerking a little bit before going down. Yeah, a lot of people do jerk prior to dying. You know, remember when Lavoy Finicum was shot to death in an ambush by Oregon State Patrol officers with no just or probable cause? Remember that? You know, some people claim that taco meat is horse meat. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of allegations that taco meat, you know, like the minced stuff, is horse meat. I can't tell you if I've eaten horse meat or not. I don't want to. Australia is going to forcibly vaccinate citizens via chemtrails, folks. Now, you know that chemtrails have been toxic in so many different ways, but many of you don't realize that this is it's so effective to drop aerosols with vaccines in them that they've actually decided just to dump them on people. Thank you for that link. Yeah. Australia is to forcibly vaccinate citizens via chemtrails. And Prince talked about chemtrails, you're right. Yeah. Australia has approved the license application from big pharma company Paxvax that will allow them to intentionally release a GMO vaccine consisting of live bacteria into Queensland. This is exactly what we've been talking about, folks. They're going to do it here. They're just starting it in Australia. They probably already are doing it. We're not laughing here, Meow TV. This is something you've been in denial about for about 3 years now. You know, I've heard about the overdose, Captain Howdy, but we have to wait 4 months for the toxicology report to be complete. They're too busy redacting it. Prince would have been a great guest on ATP. You want me to impersonate Prince and pretend like I'm talking to him, just to give you kind of a retro feeling? The Office of Gene Technology Regulator. Oh, that's got to be pretty messed up. He says that the vaccine qualifies as a limited and controlled release under their Gene Technology Act of 2000. That's why you sent me that Gene Technology Act. Thank you. Section 50A. This is just unbelievable. It's some gross misuse of authority in Australia. And you know something? This is why we do the shows about the dangers of chemtrails. Because the American people, at least, have got to make other people around the country and around the world aware of this. Eagle has landed. We've got more than enough video to prove that there's adequate, valid information verifying chemtrails. I don't need to go out on a limb to talk about it. I can let Dane Wigington give you a synopsis real quick. This is just something brand new, and I'll play it for you.
This video contains some of the most compelling footage yet captured of the ongoing atmospheric aerosol spraying assault. Countless people ask me how we can prove that jet aircraft are spraying in our skies. Here's the answer. Because we have up-close film footage of these jets spraying, turning on and off. Period. That's the end of any debate on the matter. In the effort to awaken others to the critical climate engineering issue, if they refuse to accept what they can see with their own eyes, there's nothing more you can do for them. Move on to others that are ready to face reality. The greatest lie ever perpetrated on populations around the planet is the fallacy that the lingering, expanding jet trails we see in our skies is just condensation. It is not. Film footage like this proves beyond any reasonable doubt that what we are seeing in our skies are sprayed aerosol dispersions that are part of the ongoing global climate engineering solar radiation management assault. These programs are decimating Earth's life support systems. They're nothing short of omnicide for planet Earth. They must be stopped. Videos like this are the most exceptional of tools in the battle to reach a critical mass of awareness regarding the climate engineering issue. We must all use every tool at our disposal. Every day counts.
All right. So many people are looking at that going, yeah, that's just condensation. No, they're chemicals. They're coming out of canisters. You're being sprayed like an insect. I'm just surprised that so many of you are in such deep denial. It's just amazing to me. I mean, I'm showing you exactly what they're doing. They're dumping chemicals on you like you were an insect. They're spraying Raid on you. They want to get rid of you. Chemtrails are extremely dangerous. They're designed to pollute the human race, weaken our immune system, and get rid of us. The primary objective of chemtrails is depopulation. This is not video manipulation. There's adequate information across the board. If you go to geoengineeringwatch.org, you'll see all the facts. Don't just come in here and say you don't believe it. Look into it. Verify it like we have. Now, I was a disbeliever back in the day in '85. I said, no, that's just simply a condensation pattern. I even said that. I'm not the first person who says it. Believe me, I said exactly what you're saying many, many times before. But there's a preponderance of information and valid proof that they're doing this. Now, this has been I've been saying that the Tor server, the technology developed to provide security on the internet, has been compromised. Well, here is a story from RT that says the former Tor developer is making malware for the FBI now. We installed the older version and it works fine, just so you know, Meow TV. In case you didn't realize, technology takes a lot of steps.
It didn't authorize on YouTube, right?
No, but that doesn't work anymore. YouTube shut us down. We've been completely shut down on YouTube. So we still have our videos up there running, but we can't upload live. So we are right now processing last night's video if you want to catch it at the bottom of our screen at America's Third Party. Well, you know, Tor was compromised when they found out that the email server was hit with malware. Now we're finding out that the former Tor developer is making malware for the FBI. Well, YouTube will no longer take our live feed. No matter what I do to authenticate it, it shuts us down. So don't trust Tor if you're trying to have secure peer-to-peer processing. Some people are using DuckDuckGo to do private searches on the internet. DuckDuckGo has got a pretty secure way of searching on the internet. Okay. Well, so far, technologically speaking, we've got past the big hump. When you first got back, we were facing a problem, and I think not upgrading to Windows 10 is better right now.
Okay.
I'm just very hesitant to go to Windows 10. Some of you people are convincing me that it's kind of a mistake.
I haven't decided yet.
What about Start Page? There's Start Page, there's Front Page, there's other ones that give you some security. David, I think your channel is tapped. I get a static every few times. Yeah, we're being monitored and controlled at the Vaughn server. They're keeping us at a maximum of 100 viewers. So unlike other shows on the Vaughn network where they take on a lot more, they will only let us have 100 viewers and chatters at a time. So some people are taking our signal and putting out all over the internet and on UHF channels, and it's really helping. And I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing to broadcast us in countries like China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea. We're reaching out across the globe because they can't censor us across the globe. So like the Beatles started in America and then went back to England, we're starting around the world and are finally going to get some press back in America eventually. It's amazing how we've been shunned for the past 7 years in our own home country that claims to be free and democratic. Okay. I'm going to have to check. I didn't know. Well, Anonymous is run by the government now, Sephiroth. So if they're giving you a tool to find out which government agencies are tracking your phone, they're just giving you a back door on their operation. I'm like Paul McCartney. Well, we can spread the good word on any other network. I've got a couple of networks we're in queue ready to go with. I've got the BCAM network playing live on our America's Third Party site. And then we're probably going to go ahead and upload to iVlog. We have an account over there. We're probably going to start on the new blogtv.ca, and we'll still multicast here at Vaughn. You're running Windows 95? Do you take baths and do you change your underwear? I mean, seriously. How the hell are you running Windows 95? You're a security risk waiting to happen. Really? I'll be the first president acknowledged by extraterrestrial life? Do you know any illegal aliens? Well, iVlog doesn't record shows. We are going to upload live to iVlog. There are two iVlogs. There's iVlog.com and there's iVlog.tv. One is an upload feature, iVlog.com, and iVlog.tv is a live stream account. Am I an Elvis impersonator? No, I'm not. Thank you very much. A hard-headed woman, soft-hearted man, been the cause of trouble ever since the world began. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Been the cause of trouble ever since the world began. No, I'm not really an Elvis impersonator. Okay, so Sarah's going to take over for me right now. I'm going to take a break. I need to wet my whistle and get some coffee. And you're going to get to meet the next vice president and the future female president of America. If she wants the job. If she doesn't want the job, she'll give it to somebody else.
I'll do whatever I need to do. Let's say that.
That's right.
Whatever I'm called upon to serve, however I'm called upon to serve the people of our great nation, I will do. That's what I will do.
All righty. Thank you. Okay, Sarah, I'll be back in just a bit. Thanks.
Yes, I do know who Bill Cooper is. I read his book, Behold the Pale-Faced Horse, I guess it was. But then in his book, he's like, here's this stuff. I found it on a copy machine that just happened to be sitting in somebody's basement. And so that's where the whole anti-Zionism, anti-elite thing happens. Which, since it was found on a copy machine in somebody's basement, could have just been the rantings of somebody. I don't know. You know. Not that I'm aware of. No. David's not that I'm aware of 269. That's pretty cool. Necklace, 2 hearts. What was his book about? In short, conspiracy theories, I guess? No, I have not seen the trailer for the new Snowden movie. It's going to be directed by Oliver Stone. Then that sounds good. I might watch it. I don't think so, Holly. Yeah, maybe two. Maybe that's it. 2 eyes, Cyclops. Did you read Pawns in the Game? Very interesting book. No, I never did read Pawns in the Game. Who wrote that book? Okay. Alright, 7 a.m. this morning you received an email from Fox asking you to be, if you'd be interested in the job of geopolitical analyst for the network. Took you 5 hours to confirm it was not a joke. Nice. Very good. I guess they've seen your work, Meow TV 2. Sounds good. Do they want you, like, on camera, or what is that? So, what? Alright. I don't know what you're saying, 473. I don't think so. I don't think I'm that way at all. Every time you stop talking... Oh, that's probably just my microphone settings. Let's see if this helps. Maybe that will help. I'm not sure, but maybe that will help. Alright. North Korea test fires 2 missiles, both fail, according to the U.S. The clampdown in China restricts 7,000 foreign organization. Wow. A new law subjects foreign groups to oversight by the police. And Austria is going to seek tensions over Brenner border controls. China says it will not permit war in the Korean Peninsula? That's so ridiculous. Alright, US. The Apple employee that was found dead at the company's headquarters in Cupertino, California was 25 years old. He was a software engineer. David, you think David got a haircut? Maybe. I guess it might be another Snowden movie. I don't know. Oh, they just need another opinion from people who actually know what they're talking about. And to make a prediction that are confirmed weeks later. That's good. Yeah, you should do it. Make sure it pays you some money. Meow TV too. I know. Oh, this is a real movie, not a documentary. Okay. Oh, you mean me? Oh, because yeah, I give David breaks every once in a while. So David will be returned shortly. Just tune in for some alternative broadcasting. What do I think about us going into Syria? I don't think it's a good idea. That's what I would say. Yeah. The reasons that we're going there, it all goes back to about 5 years ago to a little thing called Arab Spring. That's why we're going into Syria, and because Syria does not have a central bank that's owned by elitists outside of the country. So that's another reason that we're going into Syria. All about control. What was that? Yeah. So a little history. Yeah, Syria is a focus now. A little history. Arab Spring happened about 5 years ago. It was heavily funded by people in the United States who were working behind the scenes, and they wanted to bring democracy to the Middle East. And a lot of people say that that this is actually turning into now like a failed policy, because even though they brought democracy, or they thought they did, the Middle East was ruled by dictators for a very long time. Well, I don't know if I can help the crackling. I don't know what's crackling. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. If there's a spring, there will be a summer, and then a long winter. Don't forget what about fall? None of that is true? Okay, enlighten us, 473. You know all the truth. Do you care to share, or would you rather keep us in the dark? All right. Well, that was the whole point. Is the Arab Spring paid rabble rousers to disrupt cause disruption in Egypt, Tunisia, all of those. Thank you. You can verify he works there, and it's the CIB, not the CIA. course, the CIA is just a cover, is a false flag for the CIB. That makes perfect sense. I mean, it wouldn't be the Central Intelligence Agency. It would be the Central Intelligence Bureau. Oh, I think it's perfectly fine, Jacket Pockets. I like to make money. David can spend it. Yep. Oh, the Super Duty Ultra Agency is... No, actually, I hate to break it to you, 702. It's the CIZ. You know, you got to go up 26 levels, though, to get there, so... Do I... Oh, not as often as I'd like. I eat glue. Oh, wow, Sarah, yes. Alright. Yeah.
I like the
Oh, I remember you, 791.
I like the Ethernet system. It's better.
Good. Yeah.
I pushed it out. It's just less static in here.
Yeah, it does.
It's a lot less stress.
Thank you. The eagle has landed.
Keeping your Wi-Fi away from your head is the thing. You know, I don't want to have Wi-Fi
That's
too
true.
close.
It's good to have it lower. All right. No. 269? He might have been related to some. Raised by one? You'll have to ask David about that. Let's say I said nothing. Notice CIA, CAIR. I haven't heard of the CAIR. I'm still waiting for 423 to enlighten us. Guess he was just trolling. I know you have been watching forever. Mr. Yay! Alright. Suspicious powder was found at the Trump Tower in New York. Huh. No, that's not true, Captain Howdy. Nope, not at all. Do you think they're trying to make the North American Union? I don't think that Canada or Mexico would go for that. No. And only a few loons in the US might be trying for it. But I don't necessarily think that. Now, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, maybe. Yeah. Are you... Okay, I bet it is. It's a PETA for Muslims? Okay. Oh, okay. No, David never... The first one didn't happen, Captain Howdy, so the second part of your question didn't happen either. Yes, we're still working on the seawater pipeline, otherwise known as the Mudkips pipeline. Absolutely. I think it'll be perfect. Yeah, they should publish, we'll make sure they give you credit and monetary credits. Nope, 684, not that I'm aware of. I don't watch him do that, so. Ha ha ha, 887. I don't think that's the way it's going to work. Wow, Don. Thank you for donating. And you just now got back in and you donated a while ago? I think, was it... I don't know. Did David think you had a crush on me? I don't know what happened. Well, you can want all you want. 394. Virtually, you can think anything you want. I'm happy you get to chat with me again, too. Sephiroth, I don't think so. Ugh, no, I think private bathrooms should be private. Oh, thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. Oh, okay. Just as long as you keep it, if you go over $50, then I have to report your name and address to the FEC. Yes, the ATP nominee will be participating in the stream later. Well, personally, Captain Howdy, I think all of the bathrooms should be private. Yeah, that could last for centuries. There you go. Do you think the U.S. and other countries take blank too lightly? EOO. I don't know what blank is, so... you can ask him, 684. I'm not going to ask him. That's, like, personal. I think America is America, and I agree. I think, you know, it's the American people that make it all it is and all it can be. Thanks, Son. I appreciate that. Not really, 791. I never got anything from that. Oh. I disagree with that, Captain Howdy. Totally disagree. I'm never leaving. I'm always going to be here. That would be pretty cool, 269, but no, it's not true. I don't think so. Alright. I'll tell you this, 684. Who's going to enforce that? I mean, I'm not going to enforce it. So you shouldn't make a law that you don't want to enforce. Sarah I made a calendar, but it wasn't a bikini calendar. Thank you, hockey guy. Okay, good to know, Captain Howdy. Not really. Congress voted to designate bison the national mammal. There was a shooting in southwest Louisiana that was deemed as murder-suicide. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched either of those networks for a very long time, Meow TV2. No, I would be the vice president. Thank you. Ha! Landfish? You think bison are landfish? That's very funny. Nope, never happened, 961. I tend to believe that some news agencies are, yeah, I guess I do, Segami. I will be ready if I'm needed. Mr. Glue Eater. No, I have not, Captain Howdy. Have you? Wow, that sounds scary. Some of the things people write on here in the chat room are pretty scary. Okay, Google hired a former Motorola president to lead their new hardware division. And Twitter doesn't want to be a social networking app anymore. It wants to be considered a news app instead of a social networking app. Yeah. CNN has gotten pretty sensational. I haven't seen CNN in a very long time. Thanks for sharing, Captain Howdy. Don't plan on me joining you. Yep, 791, true. You're like, yeah, I like Russia Today too. Yeah, breaking news. We have breaking news in the CNN newsroom. There might be a cloud passing through the sky. Stay tuned for more information. No, I did not know I'm always at least 3 feet from a bison. I guess I'm always at least 3 feet from a bison. What concerns me the most? Homelessness, hunger, poor education, poverty. Those are some of the things. In Narnia, yay! What's your issue? Well, that's how it's supposed to smell. It has lots of methane, 684. Poverty is a big issue. Google has an on-hub router that uses IFTTT to automate your life. It's a $200 on-hub router, arrived last year, delivering fast Wi-Fi in a device touted an easy setup and automatic security updates. My favorite movie, I really like the Matrix series. I also like, there was this movie we were talking about that favorite movies the other day. I really liked Sliding Doors. I really liked The Lake House. So, those are some of my favorites. Dumb PC, a new USB stick computer uses Google's machine learning software to give drones and robots the equipment of the equivalent of a human eye, and add new smarts to cameras. Thumb PC. It's a USB stick computer. That's pretty cool. TikTok, Android, Cyanogen, Microsoft, and Windows. Alright. Carbon fiber and extra long battery life make it a class act, the Dell Chromebook 13. That's funny. Nothing like a good movie. Mini trolls. Have I heard of the Franklin cover-up? Is that like Franklin Delano Roosevelt's 684 or is something different? Who's my favorite silent screen star? The only one I know, Charlie Chaplin. Everyone should do this? Oh, you should post. Yeah, everyone should do this in your area. Go on Craigslist and put, please vote for David Sponheim. That would be very good. Thank you very much, Scissor Fight. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, since a woodchuck is just a beetle, it can't chuck any wood. The Franklin cover-up is both scary and sad. Okay. Sure, I can look up the Franklin cover-up really quick. Thank you, A1. I appreciate that. How have you been? You're like, Eagle! The Eagle has landed! And they're like, A1 has landed! Yes, it's a coincidence. You could put any 5-letter word together with a 4-letter word, and it would be 9 letters.
Questions on value.
Cool.
$2? Pretty good deal, huh? $2? Yeah. Product Campari. They're really good. GMO free. This is GMO free right here.
Oh, nice. Yay.
And then these are not GMO free, but the deal was too good. It was like 99 cents for a hummus this big.
The white bean one. That's cool.
Black bean and white bean.
Yay.
I got 2
I
black
just
bean
love
and
the edamame.
yeah, I didn't trust the soy products, but I figured white bean and black bean probably not GMO. That good stuff? Yeah. We got a real salsa thing going on. Yeah. Right on.
Well, wait, they say that the Omaha Tales of Abuse were ruled false, the Franklin cover-up. It's a documentary. Yeah, I have heard about this. Have you heard of, David can tell you, actually, David, what is it?
Check these out.
What's that video you made about the Nebraska issue, you know, the...
Yeah, Missing Kids Cover-Up. It's at David John Sponheim.
If you go to youtube.com/David John Sponheim and type in Missing Kids Cover-Up, there's some information on there.
$2 for all those Haas avocados.
They're Haas?
Yep.
Nice.
$2. They're organic Haas.
Very cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
They're in season.
Who would I vote for if I could? David Sponheim. Thanks, I like my neck. Thanks, Busy. David might be my choice this election. Thanks, A1. Yeah, the homegrown tomatoes are very good. Yeah, there you go. Put avocado on everything. And yes, David is the only choice. That would be awesome. That's who I'll be voting for, Captain Howdy. Seriously, look at all the candidates that are running. I'd rather have David in there than any of those candidates. I mean, it's like a joke. It's a total joke. I don't even know what to say. 684, no one knows who you are because you have a guest name. So if you want people to like, hey, do you know me? And you can come back as a real name. Yep, you can do one of two things, Busy. You can either work to get David on the ballot. And so in some states you go and actually collect signatures to get him on the ballot. And if you collect enough signatures, you can get him on the ballot. And if we don't collect enough signatures, just write his name in.
Yeah, that's
most states allow write-ins. A couple don't.
I'm here in Miami, and we're visiting Sarah via the internet. And Sarah, how has it been here? You're in Washington, so what is it like?
I'm actually on Mars. No, just kidding.
What planet are you on, Sarah?
I'm on the moon. As you can see, we've decided that you can actually see the latitude and longitudinal
lines,
decipher spaces from the moon.
They actually tell you where you are.
I'm in front of an alien broadcast, David.
So I just want to get this straight. The moon is not moving, right? The moon does not rotate. It always stays in the same position, around in a circle. Is that right?
Well, we always stay in the same place around the Earth, so we rotate with the Earth, David.
So basically the moon is going... Oh, I breached into your area.
Turn.
There you are. It looks like I'm on a broadcast from another section of the country.
Come Come on now, David. We could hear you in the background.
What's the questions? Let me ask you a question. Why are you asking me all these things? Because nothing you're asking me I've ever said yes to. I'm not a consultant for Goldman Sachs. I can't believe you. Why are you asking me these questions?
No.
Are you making this stuff up as you go along, or do you see my name somewhere?
No.
Alien Oceanography reveals proverbial ocean organics titan. It's a non-transgender bathroom on Cassini, according to, non-transgender bathroom. What? How are these links getting this weird? Breaking, 6.8 on the Richter scale off Northern Pacific rise. Buoys in event mode. Wow. NOAA's got some seismic activity going on. Let's take a look here. These are all the nodes of tectonic activity around the world. As you can see, the U.S. is, like many others, engaged in earthquaking. Yeah. I don't ask big questions like, how does the moon change? Cycle of curiosity.
Wax on, wane off. Crescent moon waxing. Crescent moon waning.
So basically, I mean, just to make it very simple, the moon is moving. Here is the Earth, and the moon is moving like that.
Well, the moon. Okay,
the Earth is rotating.
Hold your hand.
The Earth is rotating.
The moon's rotating around the Earth.
Yeah, but it's kind of in a stationary position. It's not spinning.
Yes, it is spinning, but it's spinning. So, like, if you have the Earth here,
the moon is spinning.
The axis, yes, but the axis for the moon is like this, so that if it's spinning around the Earth. So there's a far side of the moon, which would be away from
that we never see.
Correct.
So there's a part of the moon we never see.
Yes. Now, it's not the dark side of the moon because
But it's a specific place on the moon that we never ever get to see.
That we can't see from Earth.
Okay.
Correct, because of the way that the moon is spinning relative to Earth. So the moon's axis relative to Earth's axis is the moon has an axis like that, where if the Earth's here, it's spinning around its axis.
Yeah.
Which is, its axis is kind of pointing at the Earth.
Right, but there's a side of the Earth.
So there's a far side of the moon.
But
it's not
let me ask another
dark
question.
Side because it does get light from the sun.
Are we able to see every portion of the moon?
No, not from Earth.
So our satellites have seen those portions that we can't see.
Well,
and we mapped them out when we look at the moon. We mapped out those portions of the moon.
What are you saying? No, I mean...
Well, if there's a portion we can't see from the Earth, then how would we know what the topology of the moon is in that area?
The topography of the moon...
The topography, yeah.
What we see... Well, the satellites are looking at the moon, but the satellites that I know of are not in a higher orbit than the moon. So it's weird. What we're seeing when they map out the moon, they're mapping out the part that we see, like this. Imagine this microphone, right?
Well, you got to hold it up for people.
No, well,
because they can't see the microphone.
Saying it to them, I'm saying it to you.
Well, you can hold it up.
Okay, so imagine. All right, here's this perfect example. So they don't see this part. You can't see this when I'm holding it like this.
Right.
But you could map the topography of this if this was full of craters and valleys.
Yeah, I know.
With satellite imagery, but you would not see that.
Okay, so is there a portion of the moon that we're not able to see?
There's a portion of the moon we're not able to see from Earth.
Okay, but you're saying that the satellites that are flying around the moon can see those spots.
I know, I didn't say that.
Oh. Well, so how do we see those portions of the moon that we can't see from here?
Well, we don't.
If we don't have satellites, then how do we know what the topography of the moon is?
We don't know what the topography of the far side of the moon is.
Okay, let's do the far side of the moon. Not the dark side of the moon, by the way. And today marks the epic of the Dark Side of the Moon. April 28th is the Dark Side of the Moon's epic.
But there's not a dark side of the moon.
I know that.
There's only a far side of the moon.
Far Side of the Moon, but on the same topic, the Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd.
Okay, maybe our satellites have mapped both sides of the moon. But I didn't know that the satellites are orbiting.
It's Pink Floyd Day, yeah, it is.
But that would mean that either we have satellites that have gone and orbited the moon, which we have had, like, there's been a space flight that's orbited the moon, at least one. But so we probably have sent satellites to
Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter. We have, yeah, we must have.
Yes.
We've got all these, like Curiosity. I mean, I saw it over in Greenland. It was actually filmed in Greenland. It was doing some work in Greenland before they somehow magically sent it to the Mars.
There you go. Meow TV2 says there's 48 geocentrical satellites around the moon mapping 360 degrees of it.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks. Prince is alive in a new disguise.
But if you were only from Earth, if you didn't have the satellites, then you couldn't map the topography of the moon.
Okay, Chatroom Celebrity has a very interesting link for us tonight, folks. Jim Lovell and his crew, the ones that saw the dark side of the moon, aren't those the guys
But it's not the dark side.
It's the far side. Yeah. You know, this mapping our way through this conversation is getting pretty tough, just, in general. Okay, this is a character that just popped up out of nowhere on Facebook, and many people are believing now that it could very well be Prince. Alexander Nevermind just occurred, and people are thinking this could be the reincarnation of Prince.
I think it's more like a baby trying to get...
But it has his outline.
So what?
Why is it you can never move these boxes that they have?
I don't know.
Like, for instance, here's a Facebook page. Now, just for an example, we're in Technology Thursday. Let's address this technology, okay? You know how on our Scraplet page you can move the boxes around?
Yeah.
Well, on a Facebook page, you can't do that. You can't take this box and move it anywhere.
Right, the chat is always in the lower right.
Yeah, but so it blocks the videos when you play it, or when I play it, and it's like ridiculous. Whereas you go to our website, Cool Rock, and you see we can actually adjust everything. Let me show you. We put together a really interesting site called coolrock.com, and it is using technology developed by a guy named Steve Rapiti. And I've yet to see this on the internet. I mean, we're still like in a brand new area here.
Well, you think you should vote for David Sponheim?
I'll be right in, yeah, guys. Hi. Now, immediately you hear the set tone. You hear that? Peaceful set tone. Yeah, that's the background. You can take these screens and you can X out of them. So say you want to get rid of the ditch the ads, you just go X there. I've got to get a new picture in here because this picture is somehow not showing up. I'm going to do that another time, but here is our website. Our entire show is on right now. You can watch us. That's me live. Here you can download all of Scissor Fight's, most of them, not all of them. He has so many musical riffs that he's put together. It's a phenomenal. You can click on Can't Stop here too. It's one of the links. You just want to hear it. Somewhere down there. Load more. Here's the chat room where we are. InfoPig is like a really interesting little tidbit of weird odds and ends, better than Drudge Report. But look at this. You see how I can move everything around?
Yeah.
You can't do that on Facebook. You have no control, and when you hit refresh, it pops right back into place. Now, I've made some, with the help of Scissor Fight, I put all these together, and literally have made musical, you can literally create music here. And then you can type in here, get a beat going. I don't know what it sounds like. You don't like that? You move it around. You can X out of that if you don't want it. Here you can play the harp. And I think this is one of the best ones over here. You can go here and instantly create a beat pattern, a sequence. I'm going to go dance to this one. Let's now bring on Can't Stop. Anyway, and then if you don't like the whole browser, just X out of the whole thing. And here's the outline of Prince on the static Facebook page where you can't move anything around. I just don't like the way Facebook is so static. Is just something about it. Yeah, I don't think that's Prince, man. No, I was not a lobbyist for a meatpacking company. What's with the questions? Could you answer one question, or I'm not answering a single other question? Why are you asking me questions? I'll try to remaster Can't Stop in this 8-bit thing, yeah. But you guys can play with Cool Rock. It's my gift to you. Have fun with it. Enjoy. You can watch our show and make music in the background if you're really, really bored. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Captain Howdy. Is that one of those urban myths or urban translations I've got to look up? Hey, thanks for giving me some break time here. You can take a rest. It's the heater's on and bedroom's waiting. And Netflix is ready for enjoyment. I think I should go down and get her cat food later, though.
I could go do that.
No, I don't want you driving anywhere. I'm going to go get it. But you're good. All right. We'll do a 9 o'clock show, and I'll go get cat food for her. Make a late night trip to the store. No, I've never eaten Mentos.
I have a question for
Oh, okay. You want to write it?
Yeah, I'll write it.
Well, I'm just trying to get her relaxed because she's been working all day. You know that she does these out of the kindness of her heart just to come in here. She's such a benevolent, kind person.
I think I know the answer for this, but...
All right, not to see the survey. I can turn this off. You can just talk to me. It's a lot easier.
Okay.
Just cover your mouth. Yeah, this is how we talk to each other.
I was just leaving, Antique. What happens? I'll be back in half an hour.
We were talking to each other privately with a muter. That way, people who can read mouths or read lips. I read your mouth.
Well, I was here for like an hour. Where were you? Leah's figured out my schedule.
What was your band name, 658? I'm sorry you were unhappy. What was your band name? I'll unban you. I don't hold grudges, man. You know that. That's my best quality, I think. No, I'll unban you. Go ahead. You're in a stage of clinical paranoia? Really? Well, no one wants to have their private life on camera.
I don't want you guys all tracking everything I do.
God, man.
I just needed to ask a question.
I don't keep a camera set up on a tripod in my room for making private movies, no. I do have 3 tripods and 2 cameras, but I'm not here to make private movies. We did upgrade our studio, though. It was pretty... Susu Studio. So this is the tectonic activity in the U.S. Yes, there it is. Yeah, so far we just don't have any clear view of what's happening. No, people who are paranoid can have people after them. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean people aren't following you or tracking you.
Clear this weekend.
Yeah.
We have a clear view of what's happening.
Well, at this point, I'm open to all kinds of ideas, but I'm keeping it wide open. All right, you're happy to see you got the green screen working? Yeah, it took about 5 years, boobies. It was mastering the green screen. Our setup involves a couple of parasol lights. I'm running LEDs only in here, and I got my RF frequencies out of the door. Last night I was watching a Wi-Fi show. A guy does incredible research and tests the amount of voltage going through the air, and I noticed that our room was right next to the Wi-Fi because we were Ethernetted up to it. And I thought to myself, this is not right. We have definitely got to get the Wi-Fi out of the room. And I put it behind a very large metal file cabinet and a mirror. I'm assuming that's going to be a good deflector. I feel better now. Yeah, I feel like calmer. Yeah. Trying to make it so it's safe and sane to be a broadcaster for 7 hours a day or 9 hours a day. I spend about 7 hours a day in the studio. All right, here we go. Ted Cruz, father linked to JFK assassination. He goes silent on his dad's photo scandal. Yeah. His dad was seen in a picture with Lee Harvey Oswald. Ted Cruz avoided commenting on his dad's new photo scandal at a campaign event today. That's the story right there. National Enquirer. Oh, sociopathic Hillary Clinton's secret psych files exposed. Mrs. Clinton had been tipped some Republicans might try to challenge her mental competency if she ran, said the source, so she underwent an intensive 10-day psychiatric evaluation by a top doctor. She fully expected a clean bill of health, but the psychiatrist report left her stunned beyond belief. National Enquirer's got more on this. I think we should just gather all of our news from the National Enquirer because it seems to be more relevant, you know, to the fact that we're getting constant propaganda from the CIA news and the Fox, the fakes news. And why not just take on the National Enquirer? Why not make National Enquirer just as important as Fox and CNN in your mind? Seriously. The American people need to possibly look at this as a, you know, I see more stuff revealing the truth. Do you know they found JonBenet Ramsey's killer? I found that out the other day on an, I think it was In Truth or In Touch. In Touch has that. Yeah, Star has another story that's really good. Yeah, they found JonBenet Ramsey's killer. And then there's there's people that believe that JonBenet Ramsey really is Katy Perry. I mean, the face, the similarity is, it's almost uncanny. I mean, when you look at it, it's take a look. Yeah, I'm going to give you the going look here. Yeah, people are beginning to wonder. Her face is almost identical. If you did an age progression on this, you would see JonBenet Ramsey growing up to be a Katy Perry look-alike. Yeah, I think we talked about that. So what I'm trying to do basically is dumb down the conversation. So we basically talk about, you know, kind of ridiculous things tonight. Yeah, we were getting really too heavy in the, you know, talking about scalar weapons and microwaves that can fry our brains like pickles. The mainstream media used to discount TMZ, but they're looking at it more and more. Yeah, JPF. You voted for me? Thank you, Guest 711. I appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. This is progress. I did go body surfing as a kid. It was very violent. At 7 years old, my dad put me out there, and I'll never forget the worst body surfing experience I ever had was, thank you. Tie is a nice tie. I was in Bolsa Chica, and the sand dunes are like this underwater. And my dad's out there, yeah, let's go body surfing. I'm 7 years old. And I'm like, these waves are like 12, 13 feet high, and I'm like body surfing. You know, you get behind the wave and you kind of catch it. And man, I just crashed into those things. I hit that thing hard. I could have broken my neck. And I remember going under and seeing all the bubbles around me and knowing that I better hold my breath. And then another, before I could get up to get my breath, another crash of a wave right on me into the next one. But boom, it's like the second bumper. Because this is how the sand dunes are there in Bolsa Chica. Very dangerous. Yeah, and then the third one I finally got air. But I had to hold my breath for at least a minute. A minute and a half. At 7 years old, that's scary. Yeah. So yeah, I was kind of thrown to the water full bore out in California. I was pretty much a blonde beach guy when I was a kid in the 60s and early 70s. David, why would anyone vote for what are you talking about, man? I'm not gay. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would think I'm gay. You surf Pismo Beach? Yeah, we used to do a lot of clamming in Pismo Beach. I've got clamshells from Pismo Beach. They're this big. You can't find clams like that at Pismo Beach anymore. They were fished out, I think, by the mid-'80s. I'm sure there's a couple of them out there, but man, they're probably few and far between. I never was gay, man. Why do you think I'm gay? No, I'm not. I'm not swinging both ways, man. Bottom line is, I'm a guy who's been incredibly attracted to women all my life. It's like lust. What can I say? I have to tone it down. I'm not the kind of guy like Bill Clinton that wants to go do it with every woman out there. I can't get that image heavy duty. That's too much for me to click on. But I understand there's limits to our bodies. We can't possibly, cheat on our lovers and ruin the relationship that we have, the trust that we engender. If you want a good, solid relationship, you can't go doing what Bill and Hillary do. It's just not, I don't know how they live with each other. It's like a marriage of convenience or something. Calling me looking gay? That's absurd. Now, I figured this out. A lot of you guys, especially you men, are homophobic. And homophobia is exactly the opposite of what you think it is. You're not afraid of being gay. You are gay. People who are really severely homophobic are gay. They actually go out and target gays. A lot of these chicken hawk Republicans are incredibly homophobic. They push for anti-gay legislation because they're that afraid of gays, because they're that into gays. They're secretly masturbating to men, and they may have these fake Republican lives. It's to be honest, when men kiss on TV, it makes me very uncomfortable. It's disturbing. I just don't like it. For me, I was taught that it's completely an unnatural act, and it's not something I've ever fantasized about. So, when people talk about it like it's it's just experimenting. It's abhorrent to me. The only time I've ever kissed a man is my dad. Somebody said, "Have you ever kissed a man?" I said, "Yeah, I kissed my dad when I was like 6 years old." I remember, not on the lips; it was always on the cheek, and we never French kissed. No. Yeah, let's be real. 5% of our population is homosexual. There may be another 10% that are wondering whether they're gay or not. Yeah. Okay, so this is what's really making our country. Expense account is just through the roof. They don't want you feeling good. They don't want you really dead in the ground either. They just want you in a hospital bed so they can drain you of your savings, destroy your income, garnish your wages, suck you dry until you're dead. So yeah, good point. Thanks for sharing. It's always nice to get everybody's perspective on healthcare. Yeah, so if I were given a free ticket to Orgy Island, what would I do? That's on your mind, right? Well, number one, that there's such a thing as fantasy and reality. And some people who confuse those two and start fantasizing that maybe their reality could be better. That's where you jump off the deep end. When you start thinking that you're going to have relations with your neighbor, that you're on the wrong track, buddy. And you don't want to think about going to Orgy Island and hanging out with underage women with Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. That's not a good fantasy to have. It really isn't. So I don't go there. But, say you're watching, an erotic movie. I believe they call them, there's a word for it. It starts with a P. What's the name of it? Porno. Yeah, there you go. Porno. That's what they call it. Say you're watching a porno and you see something that you're obviously attracted to the woman in the scene, and you're fantasizing that you're the man, and you're really starting to get into it, and then you hook up your Skin touchpad by Sony with your audiovisual 3-dimensional headset. And you touch and you reach, and pretty soon you are that guy in that porn scene. Okay? Now this is going to happen in about, I'd say, 5 years. I'm not kidding. Oh yeah. Many of you virtual reality people are starting to really, salivate at the lips here, thinking about it. I know. So the idea of having a real girlfriend will become kind of a non-issue for a lot of you guys. I hate to say it, but I mean, I know you're looking for that perfect person in life, but they're trying to design a world so that you'll never have children and the human race will be extinguished. So believe me, you're going to have some of the best porn on earth in the next 10 years. Oh, it's only going to get better. Let's talk about the technology of erotic photography and everything, shall we? Shall we turn the whole show into that instead of talking about the country and improving it? Yeah, it's kind of open discussion here. Technology Thursday, we can talk about any technology you want. 3D porn, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Trump and Hillary refused to explain why they both share the same address in Delaware. Yeah. That's a good one. I had no idea they had the same. You know, I wouldn't doubt they're running a corporation together. It's called the American Lie, and they got everyone believing in a two-party system. And Trump is probably doing a hostile takeover of the Republicans. They're weak. I sure hope Ted Cruz and his female vice presidential choice, Fiorini, really make a big difference. I hope that breathes new life into the Republican Party. I'm anticipating them galvanizing support and pushing Trump off the stage and winning all the delegates. I really do see Donald Trump out there all alone trying to become a third-party candidate and take me on. I love it. Bring it, Donald. Come and get me. If you're going to take my ideas, meet me in my territory. But yeah, I think it's a good move for Ted. I really do. I don't like the fact he's a Canadian natural-born citizen trying to run as a U.S. natural-born citizen. That just does not make sense with me. I don't like his father's ties to the Russian mobs and the KGB. I don't like that at all. David, would you like to see more driving Yeah, I'm open to it. You know, driving self-driving vehicles, as long as they don't crash, we're good. Trump doesn't have the push. He does, any intelligent Republican is going to say no. Trump can't pull the women vote. He can't pull the Latino vote. He can't even pull the student vote. He's got the white, pissed off male vote, and he doesn't have the vote of the people that literally hate Israel. You know, since Trump cozied up with AIPAC, he lost all of his white supporters that were against Israel. No, he's already alienated his own core. He's limping along now at this point. Hillary has 60% of the popular support right now. She's definitely on track to win this. You know, I called every election, the past 3 elections, without fail. I've had the exact same calls every time, and I've never failed. Yeah, Hillary will be our president, based on the current system. If I'm allowed to get into the mainstream media for 1 second, I think we can change the dynamic and I can become the president. But without the mainstream media, I'm basically out here in fish land, in my fish bowl, feeding my fish. No, I will be president, but I need the mainstream media. I have a feeling it's going to turn my way because what we put in play is very powerful. You know, this word of mouth campaign is growing around the world rapidly. So I'm not trying to in any way shirk from the responsibility of running the country right now. I want to do that. I want to take this problem on right away. I greet the opportunity to save the nation and solve the problem. I mean, we've got chemtrails getting dumped in the skies above us. Here's a case of blood being dumped in the air. I mean, none of the other candidates talk about this. Look at this. Let me cue it up. Yeah. Not intense. So if we don't attack this issue head on with a third party, we will never stop what's going on above us. So let's try to segregate our discussion of the campaign for the presidency from our discussion of the real issues. Because if we don't wake up to what's really happening right now, we're in trouble. They're dumping blood in the skies above us. It could be tainted blood with vaccine alterations in it, synthetic alterations. All right, I hope that scared the living daylights out of you. Yeah, Trump and Sanders do have a few things in common. They're both blowhards and egomaniacs. You're right. Yeah, they really are. So unless we get a real independent candidate, not some crony of the 1% crowd or some socialist that's been hanging around like a lapdog in the Democratic Party like Bernie, I mean, come on, you're taking some old ancient philosophy like Marxism and applying it today. It doesn't work that way. Gold making a migration upwards to 1268, and silver is at 17.68. This 6.8 is very powerful. And the Dow Jones dipped below 18,000 again, quite a bit. It's 18,000 or 17,830. Yeah, well, I don't consider Trump a self-made billionaire. I'm sorry. He inherited millions of dollars from his dad. 23 million. He claims he only inherited $1 million. That's a lie. He inherited 23 million from his dad, and he turned it into an empire of borrowing and credit. Our country has been put in a position where it is in credit debt land, and by people just like Trump. The Wall Street, too big to fail companies that have been borrowing and borrowing to maintain their power over the past 8 years, further pushing us deeper and deeper into debt, are now trying to grab that power. And people like Trump, who just lost his job, and if he has so many billions of dollars, you tell me why he didn't buy Celebrity Apprentice, the name. Why didn't Mark Burnett sell him the name Celebrity Apprentice? I mean, what kind of a man would run a show where he doesn't own the name? Nobody owns America's Third Party except Sarah and I. We own that name. Bernie Sanders' campaign is laying off more than 200 workers, folks. Campaign Jeff Weaver said Wednesday that, you know, he was a failure from the beginning. He was like the Wizards that play the Globetrotters when they go on campaign tours. You know, I don't think the Globetrotters have ever lost a game. Bernie was the Wizard. Yeah, he's through the games every time, always lost. When he said he didn't want to talk about Benghazi as well, I knew the guy wasn't even campaigning. Of course you work her over on Benghazi. Of course you run her over the coals. Any good politician's going to work her over, and believe me, there's a lot there. Potato Girl, are you trying to get a call or something? Are you soliciting people here? You're hooking up? I don't know. Bernie's not going to lay off his family. They're on the payroll, Mad Dog. Good point, though. Thank you. I don't know about Paul Ryan. I think he hangs out with Eddie Munster. You know, there's evidence that he looks just like him. Visual evidence. I'm just of the belief that Bernie was always the lapdog of the... I'm amazed he's dropping out right now. He hasn't conceded yet, but I mean, I'm living in Bernie land, and all these socialists are going to go, oh, who are we going to vote for? Well, I've been here the whole time, and I'm not a socialist. I'm a centrist. But I have a great plan for the country that many socialists like, because it involves getting the government involved in creating jobs. It's that simple. Look at all these Democrats when they first were running. This is all they could put out. They have a combined net worth of $86 million. And they want to lecture America on income inequality. The Democrats have become the laughingstock of the political world as well as the Republicans, simply because they're so out of touch with reality. They're completely 60% of Congress, both Republican and Democrat, are millionaires. Isn't that a shocker? Most of America isn't a millionaire. So they're basically the elitists, and they're a bunch of corporate political whores. That's pretty well established. So when he lays off hundreds of campaign staffers, he wants to hold on to his money. Yes, he's holding on to every dollar because he doesn't know when he's going to make any more money. Yeah, what does he make as a Vermont governor? Like $160,000 a year? Well, you said it. I didn't, Cybreed. Eagle, what do you do with the free market? We let volunteer interactions flow and stop getting government involved. You know, I would love to get the government out of our business. I want to lower regulations on small business across the board, for sure. No better way to stimulate the private sector than to stop penalizing them and regulating them. The Democrats don't understand that. And that's why I left the Democratic Party, because they have no clue at how to run an efficient business. So no wonder our country isn't running properly. The big problem with Bernie's socialism is it is top-heavy. It literally sucks the life out of our tax dollars. And when you tax the working man to pay for the non-working man, you create such a flow of a dynamic of resentment in your country. Look what happened to the Soviet Union and how socialism and communism descend into this separateness, whether you're either in the Politburo or you're a dirt poor farmer. And that's exactly what communism and socialism descends into. It's all about the greed. Greed has completely contaminated every single form of economics on the earth. And we set out to create a pathway around greed when we put our idea of hybrid capitalism out there for everybody to look at. We wrote a book called Hybrid Capitalism, which deals with how our government gets ahead of itself, how it can get out of the debt. And we can even negotiate with the World Bank from a position of strength, as opposed to what we have now with the Fed, basically the little henchman for the World Bank working in our country as our central bank. And I want to thank Ron Paul for his efforts in clarifying the nature of the Federal Reserve. You guys did good work in the past few elections. And I wish all of you Tea Party supporters would get behind my concept of getting the government to be integrally involved, but not obsessed with taking over. That's the biggest problem with socialism, is they literally want to take over all of the corporate structures, and then they merge with the corporate structures. In the case of National Socialism, like Hitler and Donald Trump and Hillary, the National Socialists simply want to use their government position to kowtow or favor big corporate interests. And we don't want to do that. We want to give the government back to the people and make sure that it always serves the people. And as a taxpayer, you should be getting a rebate. We should have enterprises that get money back so that you could actually, we sold so many generic meds this year at the mobile medical units that everybody who's a taxpayer gets a discount and a return on their investment. So you get a complete kickback on your taxes, like they do in Alaska for the oil that they get. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways of funding our government that we are not deploying, and it's because we're stuck in the mud with these three different categories of economics. It's either capitalism, socialism, or communism, and that's not how economics really works. That's why we came up with hybrid capitalism. So it's a crossover. It helps the government get a return on investment so it can run long-term without tax reliance on your tax dollars. It trims its budget constantly, kind of constantly getting rid of the dead wood and the weeds that are sitting there in bureaucracy. If we don't pull the weeds, they will take over, and they already have. There's no wig, man. This is my real hair. I just, I was out and about today, and I had to hit the road. And it just so happens that, when you're out, traveling, your hair blows around in the wind. Not hiding the tie. I'm going to pull back a little bit on the show because I think I'm too close. We'll take it up to there. All right, so let's get started. It took us 2 hours to get to the point where we can discuss things that are going on in the country. Okay, according to the top story here, Donald Trump's gender-based attacks on Hillary have a calculated risk. Donald Trump is no lie. They've got tons of stuff on how he denigrates and objectifies women. And we've got lots of videos we could refer to. It's almost bizarre how he treats women. We go to TrumpQuestions.com, and they've got women testimonials about all the different things that Donald Trump has said. They've actually said real quotes, real Donald Trump quotes about women.
Real quotes from Donald Trump about women.
Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that?
It really doesn't matter what they write, as long as you've got a young and beautiful piece of That must be a pretty picture, you dropping to your knees.
There was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her... wherever.
Women. You have to treat them like
This is how Donald Trump talks about our mothers, our sisters,
our daughters.
Our Principals PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Wow. Isn't that amazing, huh? You know, and when you hear it from women's mouths, it becomes more and more obvious that we have a very misogynistic presidential candidate in the name of Donald Trump. Misogynistic means woman hater. Calling out Megyn Kelly, bleeding from the eyes. I mean, the guy is ridiculous. Play the Broke Insane Obamas video? Absolutely. Thank you for asking. See, I'm completely interactive, and as you know, we aim to please. How much of the video do you want to see? Would you like Broke 1 or Broke 2?
Let's be clear. I'm broke, insane, Obamas.
That's Broke 1. Let's do Broke 2. This is 2008 I did this because I wasn't getting any coverage whatsoever. I was being censored, and I still am being censored, but not the way that I was then. I've got all kinds of reach now thanks to that video. Yeah, I had to do it, folks. Sometimes you have to, go to the distance and impersonate a president, a standing president, even if you have to go into blackface. And then I did this Blackface 3. My fellow Americans, as I stand before you today, I have many good things to announce. That America is still the most prosperous country in the world. That America still has flourishing, open markets. And that America is still a leader and a representative of democracy in the world. But in order for us to keep these achievements we have made throughout the course of our nation's history, we are going to have to make common sense solutions to fix the problems in our government. Right now, in Washington, we see bickering and games, but no compromising. We see politicians bowing down to big corporations, but not fighting for the people who voted for them. They fail to even put common sense solutions forth to streamline and make our government more efficient for us, the taxpayers. So yes, we have a lot of blackface videos. Which one do you want to see? I've got a whole slew I made in 2014. In fact, if you go to David John Sponheim YouTube, they'll have it all for you. Let me just give you a link and you can go watch it on your own time and listen to the satire up close and personal. I have a very dry, kind of a Stephen Wright sense of humor, so many of you may not understand it 100%. That's okay. It's not that I need to be understood at all times. I just need to get the fact out that Obama's been a failure as a president. And the media won't even cover that fact. It's been ignored in the media. The Democrats want to say, oh, well, golly, everything's going well. Yes, well, Barack Obama's done such a good job with Obamacare. Everybody's getting health care now. It's so nice to have this universal health care plan. It's not even a universal health care plan. It's a gouge, literally. 30, thank you. Super extra blackface video. Thank you, Bengalitis. It's gouging. It's gouging people's savings when they get health care in America now. It's like 30% more for their insurance. Yeah, well, I used, on this particular one right here, I used Marmite, which is vegetable. I had to do this on the fly. I said to Sarah, I'm just going to do it. And I went out and just grabbed some Marmite in my cupboard, and I used it on my face. So it's pretty out there, I must say. And it worked really well, though. We've been at this for about 4 years. I've been your president, and you're wondering why you're all broke. And then I went on and did this one in 2008 or 2014, Blackface Light 2, and that's using Maybelline Dream makeup by Maybelline. It's the Dream picture that, yeah, it's the color of Barack Obama. It's their Dream makeup. Yeah. Anyway, Yeah, we don't do YouTube live streams of Donald Trump rallies because Trump is copying me on 6 separate issues. And we basically don't want to hear about you and your stupid Trump support. Basically, he's a corporate elitist and he won't do anything for you. He has read the speeches of Adolf Hitler when he was married to Ivana Trump. So keep your Trump support to yourself and bag it, okay? We don't need another Hitler. And the American people are going to rally behind me before the end of this election. Now, I'm going to put something on the screen I want all of you to consider in the upcoming election. In your general election, you're going to have an opportunity to write my name in. And I'm going to suggest to you write in David Sponheim. And I know you know how to spell, so don't worry. If we have enough write-ins, we will force a recount. Forcing a recount is essential because we're going to have to get accountability from these people. They don't really want to count the votes. They just want a digital number that they can tweak with a computer. But forcing a recount really will make these people squirm. So write my name in the upcoming election and force a recount, everybody. Thank you. We've been at this for about 4 years. Hey, you know, I would love to be able to show you the whole Broken St. Obamas video in its completion. I'm putting them all together. I have rare footage of this. I'm going to be putting them all together into a compilation video, documentary style. So I'm kind of not releasing the text of it because I did prophesize the problems our country's facing right now in international politics. And all of it was designed as satire. Yeah, so Barack Obama has basically bankrupted our country. And if you don't think we're bankrupt, you probably are hanging out with your grandpa who has a pension check. So you think everything's fine. And you shop at Costco and you wonder why grandpa hands the credit card over every time you buy a big basket full of groceries. Hey, and this is what Scissor Fight just did, everybody. Check this out. He just posted in LA too. He posted in Los Angeles and he's posted in Orange County. Thank you so much, Scissor Fight. So this campaign is ramping up. We're really starting to work it better than we ever did in the past. I thank all of you for talking to people about us and mentioning a third party. But here is our platform. We've got the whole thing here. Ending selective service, stopping chemtrails and forced vaccinations. I mean, we got a lot of good stuff on our site. Cap 2 million. We're putting together tort reform. We've got no individual mandates, ideas for the future. I mean, it's a pretty well laid out platform that the two parties can't even compete with because it's so succinct. You know, I don't do impressions of Trump or Hillary. I really don't think impressions of those two are important because I don't see them as long-term players in the American political scene. I really don't. I believe that the American voter is beginning to evolve and has begun realizing that the answers are within us. We're never going to get anywhere by buying more things. You're never going to have a better life by going out and charging with your credit card. Similarly, our country can't keep going bankrupt with people that are credit junkies like Hillary and Donald. They both love credit, and frankly, that message doesn't really make sense anymore. What makes sense is getting our costs of living down. No, I have not held a political office in American politics, but I've tried. I've been victimized by a number of factors. Cheating in the last election, 2014, I had 90% of my signs stolen by my competitors or people that supported them. So we are living in a very, very violent and corrupt time right now. You may think everything is normal, but it's not. They're willing to cheat to stay in power. And even people who you'd think would be out of politics, like Bob Dole. Bob Dole. He's trying to run in my own chat room here. Bob Dole, 2016. Please don't do that. I have a credit card, yeah. I don't use it much. I only use it in emergencies. And I don't really care about credit because I've never borrowed any money except for a car I bought. I had one bank loan for a car one time. I keep my costs down. Haven't been in debt for many years, since I was about 19 years old. So I believe that our country needs to do the same thing. I'm a fiscal conservative, I will use your tax dollars extremely effectively. We will cut the government waste like Obama promised he would do. We will do it. Because I don't have any ties to the corporate community like the two parties do. It makes me a very powerful political player in the area of the presidency. Remember when George W. Bush said, "I've got a lot of political capital, and I'm going to use it"? Well, I don't have any political capital. I really don't have. They will look at me as a total outsider. I won't be able to move the Republican and Democratic parties. Yeah, well, many people say that dividing the two parties is a wasted vote on a third party. At this point, if you don't split the vote, there's something wrong with you. Splitting the vote is the only way at this point. The two parties are totally ineffective. They can't cut the budget. They can't get rid of all the government contracts and chaff connected to their reelection. We've got two absolutely useless political entities running our country, and you wonder why we have problems. I'm keeping calm. And yeah, I have no political capital at all. As a U.S. citizen, we're all in the same boat here. So you're voting for a guy just like you, an average man, and I will do the bidding of 2/3 of the nation. I am truly committed to the greatest sense of democracy. 2/3 majority, nothing less. If we don't have a 2/3 majority, we really don't have even a remote connection to democracy. It should be, a democracy should be well above 2/3, but 2/3 is a minimum. But the Democrats, they want 51%. They want a simple majority. They want to control the destiny of this country with almost a Marxist approach. They want to believe that because they can arouse 25 million people that voted for Obama, it wasn't much. A lot of people don't vote at all. That somehow they're going to rule the rest of us. No, you need 77%. You need 67% of the population to have a 2/3 majority. Many of you who are afraid of democracy and you've been told, well, that's just like a mob. No, it actually isn't. That's just rhetoric from neocons, like the 703 that I'm going to purge. And neocons don't like the word democracy. But I can tell you, I believe that democracy and our Constitution can coexist and complement each other. We need a living ability to change laws, but we also need to adhere to the rule of law. And we're not doing either one of those right now, at all. I'm not John Boy Walton. No. I'm not even pimpable. Yeah, the thing about me, man, is I'm not for sale. You can't buy me. You could walk up to me and offer me millions of dollars to do a stage act, and I wouldn't do it. I know the North American Union is starting to create a Trans-Pacific Highway, and the Transcontinental Highway, they call it. It goes through Texas. I don't support a North American Union. They initiated it with NAFTA, and they certainly are working to create the illusion of free trade, but it's not at all. In fact, we need to do what America needs is for America's purposes. We can't just do things for other countries and expect to help other countries when we ourselves are falling apart. Now, the electric fence is kid-friendly. Yeah, it's going to have bales of barbed wire in front of it so that there will be no kids getting near the electric portion of the fence. If you have kids with wire cutters and in leather gear so they don't get cut, I mean, I suppose you could have some pretty violent kids trying to get close to the border, but they'd fry. And that would be terrible. We wouldn't want that to happen. It's kid-friendly. The lethal electric fence will be kid-friendly, kind of like dolphin-safe netting. The dead bodies are actually emoliated. They vaporize almost instantly. Have you ever seen someone fry electrically? You didn't? Well, if there is a problem, we will direct a laser beam and we will further vaporize them. We won't need to take their identification names. it'll be undetectable. No, I think you're going to have to do that yourself. You know, you're the ones touching yourself nightly. Why don't you do that to yourself? Just try not to become, disenchanted with your love life with yourself. Love yourself more every day. Yeah. Because that's about the only lover you're ever going to have. No, the North American Union is an arm of the New World Order. I would never be a supportive of that. This country is going to go through some changes over the next 15, 20 years. But it's not going to be at the behest of these world elitist global leaders. We'll be doing what we need to do to keep our nation efficient. But they're not going to control our nation once I'm leader of this country. Our country will then grow. Economically, we can become a greater powerhouse, and the dollar will become even more attractive for people that are investing in the U.S. capital. We predict a 10% flat tax would level the playing field and open up all kinds of foreign investment. And Obama could never articulate that. He could never spell it out and say, well, let's be clear. We should just start with a flat tax. Flat tax gets rid of all the loopholes and tax deductions that lobbyists use to control politics. A flat tax opens up opportunity for foreign investment to invest here. 10% would be the only tax you'd face on your income over $100,000. So people can invest up to $100,000 tax-free in America. Well, let's be clear. If only Obama had thought of that 8 years ago, like I did, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. We've had over $3.2 trillion expatriated outside of our country. It's gone to the Netherlands and to Finland and Luxembourg. And we've lost about $600 billion over the past 8 years because of Obama's ineptitude here. So not only did Obama go $8 trillion in debt, but Carlos Slim is the owner of New York Times. Okay, thank you. And that matters to me. Is he going to do an article on me? Yeah, flat tax and no deductions. Yeah, it's the 100,000 mark. It's called a graduated flat tax. That's what I developed, and I came up with this in 2008, and I think it'll work today. 10% on income over $100,000. It's good for you. It's good for business. The only caveat is that it will affect churches. They will have to pay when they make more money than $100,000. But most churches, mom and pop churches, can run on $100,000. David, instead of wasting your time talking politics, the weed industry. Well, legalizing marijuana is a big part of our new technology we're going to be coming up with. We're going to be building melters that melt down the marijuana. See, once the marijuana comes into the melter, it breaks down into its components. And I'm not saying just marijuana, it could be hemp. The hemp oils actually will become absolutely burnable. In biodiesel forms, they make a thing called hempoline. You like it? So you'll be able to bring your like your kids who do nothing right now. They sit on their ass and they go, "Yeah, I don't want any job, Dad." They'll just say, "Hey, did you hear the new president's going to legalize marijuana and we could all grow it in our backyard?" All of a sudden, your kids are going to like completely turn around. They're going to be out there hoeing the ground, going, "Yeah, we need to get the soil really good, if we're going to grow some bud, man." So you're going to see a major change in America. All these kids that are suffering from autism, they're going to love it. You know how effective they'd be at growing good weed? So legalizing marijuana is really critical to getting the economy rolling. I wouldn't be running if we weren't going to make that big part of the plan to help the country. The blimp plane, as you know, is completely experimental. We're thinking of calling it in honor of John Denver, the John Denver, The first blimp plane will be called the John Denver. We'll fly it over the Rocky Mountains. Rocky Mountain High. Something like that. Nope, don't do that, no. Don't even donate your sperm to your bathroom. Save it. Save your precious bodily fluids. Mandrake, you know what you're doing to your precious bodily fluids? So we are really rediscovering what America is. It's kind of it's a twist on the old days when we were really fat and, disabled. Now we're going to be lean, mean, and a better running machine. So the future is bright. Babies come from your mommy's uterus. Hey, shout out to Holly. Thanks, Daddy Ein. Yes, my acceptance speech is written. But the real task is going to start when I start the process of fixing the country. Running for president is a piece of cake compared to what I have ahead of me. Oh, really? Well, we had a struggle with Windows 8. We dang near went for Windows 10 tonight. We nearly caved in. But I put the brakes on the download for Windows 10. I said, no, I don't want the NSA listening to everything I do when I'm asleep. I don't think any restaurant out there is non-GMO. Is there a non-GMO restaurant? Because most of the restaurants you can get GMOs with lots of tumor-producing products in them. Well, you never be psychic either. 748, you lost the psychic award, didn't you? You don't have a single bit of psychic capacity. And here I can pretty much look into your life right now, I guess, 748. Let me see. I'm seeing like are you like near a volleyball net or something? I'm seeing like a volleyball net or lace for some reason. You're psycho? John Denver's dad was a test pilot at Roswell, New Mexico. Well, to become more psychic, the first thing you need to do is eliminate fluoride from your water. It will open up your pineal gland. It's not a penis, it's a pineal gland inside of your brain, which makes very interesting, intuitive decisions. So you're just laughing? You don't even want to respond to me about the lace? I'm seeing lace around you. I don't know why. Is your girlfriend doing like lap dance next to you? Oh, wow. Now, yeah, you're getting aroused. I can see that. No, I did not go to Yale. I wanted to go to Yale, but they rejected me because I'm white. I was quite shocked when Yale and Princeton and Harvard rejected me. I'm sorry, what? No. Do you have any questions about important issues like Justin Bieber or, yeah. We can talk about anything here. All right, let's talk about technology and what's to come. Yeah, please, keep your language down, guys. What's the future all about? What's it all about, Alfie? Well, let's talk about the presidency. The presidency is ripe with new technology, like this Savonius windmill. These are the kind of things we're going to be putting on top of the maglev rail. That I'm going to... Actually, I'd love to see what Elon Musk is ready to deploy. When he's ready to deploy the hypercoil, I'm ready to go. But I want to integrate windmill operations that will generate energy at every single travel stop. Whenever you get off the maglev or the hypercoil, you'll see all kinds of electrical generating devices. That's the future, because we have to constantly make money on energy. It's a way to fund new development. How many people in Japan love you? Many people in Japan love me. I am becoming more and more popular there. I became a national phenom in Japan, I think when I did the blackface video, and then ever since they've been listening and knowing that I've got good solid solutions for the country. It's like a very important picture you got there, Angela Merkel and Barack Obama. Yeah, I just never could understand why I was victimized by affirmative action. You see, white people can't get into colleges like Harvard. I was a straight A student, 4.0, graduated #1 in my high school class of 770 students, and I was turned down by Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and Stanford. And that instead they brought in African Americans who have a B- average, and they got where I would have gotten into the college. They matriculated. So if you don't like white people, that's pure racism. I don't dislike you because you're not white. I'm not jealous of anyone with a master's degree, actually. You know, I lost all respect for academics when I was a child. When I read a voluminous amount of books, and I realized that I had more intelligence than all of the authors. And they all had PhDs next to their name. Yeah, so I just don't have any... And look what the academics and the ivory tower intellectuals have done. They've all turned into Marxists. They've all taken us down a road to ruin, bankrupting our nation, borrowing more and more money, not even understanding the dynamic of business. And I lost respect for academics. You know, they say those who can't teach. Well, in many ways, when you're living in an ivory tower and all you can do is make money as a professor, you lose touch with reality. And I never wanted to lose touch with reality. Vatican Bank cleaned up, identifies 5,000 suspect accounts. That's good. A cleanup of the Vatican Bank has been completed. The final tally of suspect accounts have been closing nearly 5,000. Okay, unveiling the 2015 annual report of the Financial Information Authority. Okay, they take so this is the Vatican trying to clean up their act. It was created by Pope Benedict, the guy who said that sex with children is a normal behavior for men. Okay, I think we're done with that. Why are we talking about the Vatican? I don't want to in any way bring religion into this show. At all. There's no way the Pope would ever influence me. Even though I was baptized a Catholic, I don't engage in Catholicism. I'm not religious. Yeah, people have lack of intelligence. It's common, 348. Yeah, it's one of the side effects of being stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is important.
Now, what's this antique thing you keep pushing, Ann? What is that? You? Are you a tranny or something? Because that's a picture of a tranny you keep sending me. So that's you, Ann. So you're a dude that dresses up like a tranny. I mean, you can come on in here. Trannies are welcome. Gumby is welcome here, too. Gumby's making, he's going to make an appearance. Gumby looks completely invisible. Because he's green. All right. Yeah, so let's focus on LGBTQO rights tonight. LGBTQ. Oh. We added the O now. Lesbian, gay, bi, tranny, queer, odd. Anybody who's odd, we need to accept those people too. If you would like to add to the list, it's LMNOQ, LGBTQ, LMNOP, something like that. Best Korea successfully launch another XRBM. They had an extremely large ballistic missile, sorry. The North Koreans have launched an extremely large ballistic missile. Here we go. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un speaks during a visit to the Sunheung machine plant in his undated photo released by North Korean Central News Agency in Pyongyang. They test-fired what appear to be 2 intermediate-range ballistic missiles on Thursday. Okay, the isolated nation has conducted a series of missile launches in violation of UN resolutions ahead of the Workers' Party Congress, which begins on May 6th. I don't believe they're going to follow UN resolutions. I mean, what a joke. The UN puts out resolutions. They expect Kim Jong-un to follow them. You know that Barack Obama has not even made a phone call once? Not once to Kim Jong-un? I mean, isn't that ridiculous? You'd think Barack Obama would at least call him and say, hey, buddy, let's talk. I don't think it's appropriate to not talk to political officials. I mean, I mentioned for 5 years that Obama didn't talk to the Ahmadinejad, the former president of Iran. And then as soon as Rouhani came on, Obama embraced Rouhani and literally became his best friend. And then look at us. We gave a $150 billion credit in cash to Iran, which we don't have to give.
Oh, I guess we should be two friends.
Well, Dennis Rodman had to get inebriated to go to see Kim. You know that in North Korea, and this is maybe an urban myth, I don't know, but people actually offer methamphetamines when you come into their house. Hello, honorable guest, please snort a line. Have 2 line for you, big battleship. Get real high. I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody said that they make a lot of meth in North Korea because they can't make anything else. Meth capital of the world. Please come in, have many lines. Okay, I am never going to North Korea, so I can say these things. Isn't that a great picture?
What is that?
It's a salute to America. I'm sorry.
What is that?
It's a salute to America. I had to put it out there. I'm cracking up.
Okay, I'm glad David's cracking up.
It was too funny. I kept looking at this fat person.
I don't even know what that was.
It followed them. They couldn't get up in the aisle at the Walmart. At least I'm having fun. Some of you aren't, but I can see that.
I know, DK, but I didn't know you're not cracking.
I didn't call this Pope a pedo.
Are you confusing me?
The other Pope. There's 2 popes. There is 2 popes, or there are 2 popes. There are 2 popes. Yeah, one is Benedict and the other is Francis. And Benedict and Francis are both alive, even though the Catholic Church believes that the Pope is the sole representative of Jesus. So we've got 2 representatives of Jesus living in the Vatican. If you were on either JetBlue Flight 583 or 584 on April 21st, 2015, you don't know how lucky you are that you survived. Let's take a look at this link. CBS News. Slow queue up. It'll take a while. They can't seem to get their act together like YouTube. Speaking of technology, I have to wait for it to download. I swear they're using MPEGs at CBS. They're probably still using MPEG.
We're getting new details about a JetBlue pilot arraigned Wednesday accused of flying under the influence of alcohol. Federal prosecutors say it happened last year when Dennis Murphy Jr. flew a plane from John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City to Orlando, Florida, and back while drunk.
Wow.
CBS News transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve joins me now with the details. Chris, what do we know about this case?
Well, it happened almost a year ago, back in April of 2015, so it took some time for this to get to court. But basically, this pilot, who'd only been on the job at JetBlue for a few months, allegedly flew under the influence. When his flight arrived at New York's JFK Airport at the end of the day, he was...
Ladies and gentlemen, we're traveling on 30,000 feet. Hey, Jim, can I have another shot of vodka, please? We're going to be seeing on your right a beautiful mountain. Oh, we're getting close, Jeff. Yeah, we got another shot of vodka, buddy.
Selected for random alcohol screening, and there are thousands of those done every year on pilots. When he was selected, he was given a breathalyzer, and he wasn't only over the legal limit for a pilot, which is .04. He was over the legal limit to drive a car, which is .08. He blew a .111, and according to investigators, he told the person who administered the test that it was because of the gum he was chewing. Now, his day started flying from JFK to Orlando, and then from Orlando back to JFK. The flight that he was flying as they pulled into JFK had 151 passengers on board. The co-pilot for those 2 flights reported seeing him drinking an unknown liquid out of a cup both before and during the flights.
High on what?
He was drinking alcohol. You know, it's a tough job, you know. What can I say? How would you like to be a pilot? Would you enjoy being a pilot? You talked about
I
it.
would, actually. It's true.
You know, you can get a local pilot's license, but I just think it's dangerous to get up there in the...
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
It's really dangerous.
The problem with becoming a pilot, I'll tell you what. I don't like flying in small planes.
Oh, yeah, true.
I would rather fly in, like, a plane like this, than, like, you know, one of those dinky little planes? The biplanes? I don't like the biplanes.
Here's a slam against Trump. Look at this. Remember the old P.T. Barnum saying, there's a sucker born every minute? Well, now Trump is saying, I love the poorly educated. I mean, what a two-faced hypocrite.
Are you Mad Dog?
Guy's such a hypocrite. Hi. All right. Well, you know, we live in a Naval Air Station vicinity of Whidbey Naval Air Station here on Whidbey Island. And it is the electronics eyes and ears of the Pacific Ocean where we live. So there's a lot of pilots. Wherever I go, marketing, I run into pilots all the time. And a lot of these guys are Top Gun pilots who train in Pensacola, Florida, and they come out here for their final approval. They get their okay to fly professionally for the U.S. military. And I'm sure some of them are chemtrail pilots that are fully trained here as well. And I'm sure that there's a lot of pilots that are, the chemtrail pilots, I think, are probably loners. They're probably handpicked for dropping chemicals on the people behind them. So I wouldn't doubt chemtrails are a big byproduct of the Air Force. It's probably a big part of their job opportunities. Isn't that sad, dumping chemicals on people? I can't imagine making $200,000 a year doing that. I mean, you'd have to be an incredibly sick, mentally sick person to do that. You know, volcanoes produce a tremendous amount of ash. You know, one little burp of Mount Etna has already put more than 10,000 times the CO2 in the atmosphere than mankind has in our entire time on Earth. But don't worry, a scam in the works to tax your minuscule carbon footprint is happening. Yeah. The Democrats keep talking about carbon from your muffler. Your muffler has hardly any carbon coming out of it, except, obviously, the weight of the gas going into it. But, I mean, we have far more to worry about with chemtrails, in my opinion. All right, before and after. Oh, yeah, this is the... that's the look. You can come in with kind of bad teeth and get much better teeth with press-on veneers. I'm wearing them right now. I have pretty good teeth underneath, but they're not as bright and white. I like the white part, and they're so perfect. Yeah, I will make sure you won't be taxed. And as far as your speeding tickets, those will be a thing of the past. I'm going to implement a program to shrink the police state.
Hi, buddy. You got me on a drink?
I couldn't help but do that. Anyway, shrinking the police state is really, getting rid of the traffic cops. That would be great. We don't need those guys. We really don't. It's just a waste of your tax dollars. You know that $36 billion a year is going into people getting speeding tickets. It's crazy. People are losing their money every time they go for a ride. And who's harmed? Who's harmed in the entire thing? No harm done. We got tickets for no crimes. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the thing is, I don't have a big problem with carbon. My problem is the excessive carbon dumps that are going on. We don't need to keep dumping carbon into the atmosphere. Frankly, I accept the fact that we have an infrastructure of carbon-based vehicles. There's no turning back on that. Our infrastructure is your car and all these beautiful trucks and vehicles that I see everywhere I go. It's amazing. So we have to actually embrace carbon and the combustion engine while we transition to more efficiency. It's not going to happen overnight, but we got to get in the right direction. And right now, under Obama, he's a person who has no rudder. He has no moral scruples. He seems to be just all over the place without any direction. And he hasn't really led. He just gives us some speeches that he speaks off a teleprompter. It's not really leading. Okay. Well, there are things about the truck that are beautiful. If you want to get something transported around and you buy a truck, there's no better way to carry a trailer.
You want to pay me $400 to tutor you?
Okay, this is not everything is normal in the monastery. These Chinese monks have a violent brawl over temple work. Look at this.
I can't do anything until summer.
It shows you that even monks are human.
Late June.
Yeah, the ocean absorbs carbon, exactly. And I believe that oil is a renewable resource. The earth in the core is bubbling oil right now. There's new oil bubbling up from the ground right now, being born from the earth. I believe Blackface 2 Light is my greatest video. Thank you so much for that statement. So I brought Gumby out tonight. Green screen Gumby.
That's funny. You can't see Gumby because he's green like the green screen. That's funny.
But he makes you disappear.
Gumby.
And he makes you disappear and me disappear.
Yeah, he's the invisible Gumby. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, Sarah's going to give me a little break, and I'll be back shortly for our final hour.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Letter jacket. You're Gumby? Okay, Mad Dog. That's pretty hilarious. Oh, how are you guys? It's Thursday, right? Yay! Tomorrow's Friday. It'll be past my bedtime in 40 minutes or so. 20 minutes, 40 minutes. Hope he makes an irregular appearance now. Who's he? Hi. Oh, sorry you missed me. You know what I was doing? I had almost an hour-long talk with my mom. Mother's Day is coming up. It's in a little over a week. It's not this Sunday, but the Sunday after this Sunday is Mother's Day. So you should all write Mother's Day poems. That's a good idea. Make some cool cards for your mom. I'm sorry you missed your mom. That means you don't have your mom anymore. Yeah, I know. You better go out and do some Mother's Day shopping. Yes, and I have done that too, 671. Sorry to say, but it's true. Good. I'm glad you're going to send your mom some roses. Okay, good to know. Yeah, cherish your mom while she can, while she's still alive. Moms are fantastic. I like moms. You talk to your mom every Sunday for about an hour. I try to. I don't talk to her every week, and we live pretty close, so it's pretty cool though. Yeah. I don't know what I'll get my mom for Mother's Day. Yeah, my mom is cool. She's like me. She's easygoing. Yeah, I'll see her this weekend, and maybe about once a month I see her right now. I don't bring milk and cookies to David's bedside. I should. That would be kind of cool. Should do that. Find some cookies. Make some cookies? I should bake some cookies. But it's gonna be a while. I haven't baked in a while. You wonder why your parents left you as an orphan? You blame yourself? Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault, and it's not your parents' fault either. I mean, life just happens, and sometimes life is taken before it's should be. And some people live longer than they should, and some people live shorter than they should, and I'm sorry. But if they were on drugs, yes. So hopefully you've learned from that lesson that you should not smoke crack and tell people not to smoke crack, so that if you have children, then you can be around for them. You never use drugs, you just sell drugs? Well, don't sell drugs to people with children, because you don't want to end up leaving more orphans. So if you see people that have children, tell them, I can't sell you drugs anymore. You have a kid. You need to clean up. You could start selling them like health food. Be like, hey, you want the good stuff? Here's some vitamins. It's awesome. It's good for you. That way you can live a long life to take care of your children. You could start selling the like super expensive vitamins or tea or coffee. Hello, bra, farv, what? That's good. I'm glad you don't do any of those things, Mad Dog. No, where would I get that, Captain Howdy? I don't have access to that. She was not angry. Your mom said she never wanted you. She wasn't an angry mom. She just didn't want you. That's sad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. Yeah. I think so, Super Dave. I don't know. No, I have not had a hysterectomy, so I would assume that I'm fertile, but I don't plan on having children myself. Yeah, I'm thinking that she was just upset, 5'3", and maybe she said that one day, and I know it stung and hurts, but maybe she just had a bad day. No thanks to you, Barf person. No thank you, Captain Howdy. Oh, I hope that didn't really happen, 671. I've heard of things like that, but that's sad. Ooh, a root beer float sounds good. Don't tell me that's something perverted. She was telling a story, like when she was pregnant or when she got pregnant. Well, I bet she... Oh my goodness, 553. Wow, I'm sorry that she told that to you. Even if it were true, that's just awful. Well, I'm glad you're here. You're here for a reason, I'm sure. I hope your dad loves you. I did see one picture of that coral reef that they discovered in the Amazon River. That's pretty cool. No, Captain Howdy, David does not like that. Wow, well, then don't send her a Mother's Day card, 553. The Coral Castle is amazing. The eagle has landed. Very amazing. All created with pulleys is what they said. No, 76671, that is unsanitary and not okay at any time. I would like to go visit the Coral Castle one day. I'd like to go visit Florida one day, actually, because I have there's the oldest schoolhouses in Florida in the continental United States, and my ancestors taught there. Huh, that's interesting. They built a hover bike, but it's not safe. That's cool. You called her once a month when you moved out? I don't know if I would do that if my mom said she didn't want me. And my mom always said she wanted all of us. Wow. Isn't that amazing? 10,000 Syrian refugees Obama wants to admit into the U.S. Wow. No, 671, I would not. That's disgusting. St. Augustine's a cool city. I want to go check that out. I also want to go to Disney World. I've never been to Disneyland either. One of those might be cool to go to. But David hates waiting in line. So I don't know if I want to go to Disney World with David. Well, I'm not judging you. I'm judging what your actions might be. Yes, he's amazing, but he doesn't need to do those disgusting things that you're talking about. Oh, yes. Are you talking to me, drag king person? Yeah, that's waiting in line. David would not like that.
All right, now there's a lot of reasons for us to not buy right away when technology first comes out. Always wait. Now, Sarah and I waited. We learned our lesson because I bought early when computers were first on the market. I spent like 10 grand over a 5-year period. So we waited, and all of this technology, including the gaming computer, which we're finessing and we're making it work, this is amazing values you're getting now. You guys, but always beware, something that hits the market is going to drop 50% in 1 year. It's a good lesson in technology. Try to avoid wasting money. But at the same time, the desktop industry is declining. Intel is firing 12,000 employees. The technology sector is declining in our country. So, I mean, here I'm telling you to not buy expensive stuff, but bottom line is our country is going to have to come up with new jobs as we automate. And that's going to be the biggest problem, adjusting to automation.
I would say the thing is, Mad Dog, and I said this to someone today actually, the world can be cruel. The world and other people can do all kinds of things to you, but what you choose to do is up to you. You don't have to react to the world.
Right.
You can choose for it to happen, or you might not choose for it to happen. Certain things happen whether you choose them or not, but your actions, your choices is what you can do. And one thing, if to help you, if you're saying like you're upset at your boss or whatever, to help you with this, start with meditation. And it starts with this 10 seconds. Actually, you should try to get it to 30 seconds, but you should try to get it up to 10 minutes. But you start with 10 seconds at a time, and then you grow out 10 seconds at a time. 10 seconds of not moving. And then you grow that out to another 10 seconds. And when I mean not moving, I mean you're going to notice something on your face might itch, or something on your hand might itch, and you want to scratch it. And don't react to what's happening to you.
Right. Just
sense what's happening and allow it to happen. Yeah. During that meditation time, if the doorbell rings, don't answer it. If the phone rings, don't answer it. Just sense what is happening to you and how you naturally want to react to it, but you don't have to. And then you'll realize that what's happening in the world and what your responses are two different things.
And also reflect back on when you were a little kid. So many simple things in life were so simple. I mean, life was easy, simple. Your job has made it complicated. Your boss is making it more complicated. Life really is simple when you get down to it. That's one of the ways I survive. I don't draw from luxury items and feeling like I'm special. I draw from clean air and looking at a beautiful sunset, or being with a person that I care about. These are the things that I value. I don't value the material world. So now you're trying to make money. Now you have to put up with a lot to do that.
You have to ask yourself though, but that doesn't make me not reacting, does not make me a pushover, because see, now that I can choose what my responses are, and I have unlimited choices in what my responses are. I can choose to just say no. I can choose to say yes. I can choose to say maybe. I can choose to say, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you. My responses my actions, I should say, are unlimited, my choices. But it's my choice. It's not what somebody did to me is making me choose something. What my choice is my choice.
Yeah, and you control your destiny.
Yeah.
It's basically a manifest destiny. This woman was doing a weather station, and all of a sudden, Microsoft Windows 10 update hit her system.
It's been indicating locally heavy amounts of rainfall across southwest Iowa. Microsoft recommends upgrading to Windows 10. What should I do? Don't you love when that pops up? Anyway, over an inch has fallen across southwest Iowa, and we will be...
I love Iowa. I love that. When I drive through there, I love listening to the radio or the TV stations at the motels. And the newscasters are so, hometown. It's kind of fun.
And if you're so upset that you want to punch your boss, I would say now is time to start looking for a different job and figure out what you like. Find a company that you want to work for, and even if they're not hiring, apply and write a letter to what do you want to do? Yeah, that's what I would say.
You're working in a certain industry where you could send your resume outside of your area, and your employer wouldn't know if you didn't put your employer's name as a reference.
And you say, so you're working at the morgue, and the morgue pays more than the hospital. You have to ask yourself, is the pay worth it?
Yeah.
Is the pay worth your pain and suffering? All of those are choices that you're making on a daily basis.
And if you're reacting to the job psychologically, like imagining that the dead people are talking to you, you need to probably get out of that job. If you hear dead people. Just a side note. Okay. Any other discussion? Morgue talk?
Yeah, and love
science.
Yourself, I would say.
Love yourself at the morgue. That sounds really
Not
disgusting.
At the morgue. I was talking to 553 on that one because his poor Mother's Day is coming up.
Oh,
and
okay.
so
Love
I was
yourself.
just saying that, and his mom, when she was young, said, I didn't want you. In fact, I told your dad to kick me in the stomach so I could get rid of you.
Horrible thing to say.
Horrible.
Oh my God.
And he
said
continued
that
to call his mom after he moved out. And
oh my gosh, that's so sad.
I would just say, love yourself and don't worry about what other people think of you.
Right.
You have to respect yourself to have respect for others.
And try to be sensitive to, if anybody in the room next to you. So if you happen to have somebody there, be sure to knock before going into the room. Just to be on the safe side.
I guess I should see that movie. I've never seen
it. Oh, you'd love it.
All the way through.
Jack Nicholson.
I wonder if it's kind of like Braveheart, though.
Here's Johnny.
Braveheart, I have never been able to actually watch all the way through.
I know. It's so boring.
Always fall asleep at the fight scene.
You're talking about Braveheart, right?
Yeah, Braveheart.
Yeah. The Shining. That's The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's last movie.
I don't think I've ever gotten through The Shining.
Not his last movie, but... Yeah, anyway, people believe The Shining was an allegory for Stanley Kubrick's inability to talk about the moon landing being fake. And there's a guy out there that did an amazing discussion of Stanley Kubrick and the movie The Shining, and connected all these scenes to allegories and alluding to the idea that Stanley Kubrick could not tell the truth. They have a murder charge. Basically, if you sign a non-disclosure agreement on something as important as a moon landing, they take you out. I mean, it's like
if you violate it.
Well, there's a discussion out there that Nixon may have killed 4 people that did the moon landing. Now, there's a lot of weird stuff out there if you look deep into it, but that was my little tidbit on Stanley Kubrick. Yes, I wasn't talking about Stephen King. Now we have to talk about the elephant in the closet, radio frequencies. One of the big byproducts now it's already many of you are disturbed already, I'm sure. It's already caused such a stir that the director of the World Health Organization has openly said that cell phones do contribute to brain cancer. So I'm taking it really serious. This morning I separated the entire modem from the room and put it outside behind a shield. So I urge everybody to concern yourself. If you're holding a cell phone next to your head or your body all day long, don't do it. Shut it off. Seriously. Because it has a potential to contribute to cancer. Just telling you. And the government isn't decent enough to do that for you. And I am. All right. So we're going to wrap it up tonight. We're going to go right into the movie stage of our show because I got to do some things here, and Sarah and I are having a really wonderful time together tonight. But I will hook you up to some great technology. It's stuff that has been rolling out, brand new stuff that you haven't seen before. I've got a whole section on cool tech that we put together a playlist. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. But thanks again for coming in, everybody. Technology Thursday is not always perfect. It sometimes takes a shape of its own, but we're still moving forward, and I'm glad that Ted Cruz has chosen Carla Fiorini to be his running mate. I think it's a great dynamic for the Republican Party. I hope that they win the nomination, and I hope Trump is forced into the third-party realm because I want to work him over with my tongue. And I don't mean in a sexual way. Yeah, I can give him a good tongue lashing. And I don't think any other political person out there can even get close to what I can do. I've got lots of dirt on Donald Trump that I'd love to go viral with. But, somebody said I should make a real smear campaign going. But I really don't need to do that. I'm a little more highbrow than that. But if it comes down to a tit for tap, obviously Trump and I are going to go head to head eventually. And when he called me out in the chat rooms and made those comments about me the other day on Twitter, I take offense to it.
I don't know if that happens.
No, I did not endorse Cruz. No, I want to see some real good teamwork going on in the Republican Party to push the Trump out, because Trump's not going to win the votes that the Republicans need to take down Hillary. I'm positive. Anyone who thinks otherwise is misstepping. You're off in white supremacy land or something. It's not going to happen, guys. You're barking up the wrong hole on that one. Okay, here we go. Yeah, defense industry technology. Start out with that by Boston Dynamics. All right, take care. We'll see you tomorrow where Freedom Friday starts at 6 o'clock or 5 for the pre-show. Take care, everybody. Good night. Oh yeah, I hope you feel better, Ann. Oh, we're up.